1974 Swedish supergroup Abba blew voters away with their note-perfect performance of Waterloo while dressed in what can only be described as cowboy meets spaceman ensembles. Then in 1981, there was Bucks Fizz's famous skirt-ripping routine where Cheryl Baker and Jay Aston had the long skirts whipped off by their male bandmates as they performed Making Your Mind Up. But in preparation for tonight's 63rd Eurovision, things seem to have taken a more classic turn, at least where the UK's entry, SuRie, is concerned. The Essex-born singer will take to the stage in Lisbon in a white, off-the-shoulder, floor-length jumpsuit which, when combined with her pixie crop, is just the right side of Space Traveller. But while fans of the show have been counting down the days to see SuRie belt out her song Storm in the futuristic cape, the singer admits she's been counting the days until May 13th so she can take it off and do some serious snacking. "I will be hitting the buffet table hard on Sunday," she says in her down-to-earth London lilt. "Luckily I love working out and clean eating, but for some reason over the past few weeks I have been craving sugary, carb-filled foods such as croissants and pasta. But the thought of getting into that white jumpsuit and looking all bloated on TV is enough to stop me reaching for Lisbon's famous pastéis de nata. On Sunday it will be a different story though, for someone who is representing the UK in a singing competition which the UK hasn't won since Katrina, and the Waves scored a whopping 227 points in 1997. She's very laid back, despite its reputation for being governed by a politically driven voting system. When asked if she's concerned that Brexit will hinder her chances, she seems worryingly, almost naively optimistic. "Those political conversations are important, but for one night of the year it is about music," says SuRie. "The people at home are responding to something that really speaks to them musically and hits them in the heart. I've never seen any evidence of someone voting based on a political agenda. It's not that kind of night." Any avid Eurovision fan reading this will scoff, knowing that it is exactly that kind of night. If it wasn't clear from the scoreboard, then former stalwart commentator the late Sir Terry Wogan's cutting commentary would leave no one in doubt as to the tactical voting that takes place during the competition. But while SuRie has confessed that for many years she never watched the show, she knows exactly what she's walking into because she's trodden that exact path, not once but twice before. She is no stranger to the Eurovision stage, having performed twice for Belgium, the first time in 2015 as a backing dancer and vocalist and the second in 2017 as musical director. "I guiltily admit that until I started working at Eurovision I had never watched the show in my life," she says. "I've missed out on so many years of amazing performances, but I'm more than making up for it now. My previous experiences working with Belgium were incredible, but it feels very exciting finally to have a Union Jack in my hand." SuRie, real name Susanna Marie Cork, has been hailed as the UK's best hope in years. She is a classically trained musician who graduated from the Royal Academy of Music in London. Growing up in Bishop's Stortford, Hertfordshire, she started writing music at the age of 12 and says her style was influenced by piano singer-songwriters such as Billy Joel, Alicia Keys and Tori Amos. Her forays into Eurovision may have put her on the international stage, but the 28-year-old has been quietly carving out a career in the industry for years. Her debut album, Something Beginning With, was released in 2016 with the single Inhale making it onto the BBC's Introducing Radio playlist. And she has already performed for royalty as a soloist in front of Prince Charles at the Royal Albert Hall. "I was 9 years old at the time and had no idea how much of a big deal it was to perform for Prince Charles," she says. "Fast forward 19 years and I now know exactly how much of a big deal it was. The running joke is that my career peaked when I was 9 and I had no idea. Unfortunately, I can't remember much about the performance and sadly I didn't get to meet him. For an artist already featuring on BBC playlists, it might seem strange she has gone down the Eurovision route, as it has earned a reputation as being something of a poisoned chalice. Is she worried that it could cause her career to nosedive just as it is about to take off? If you have the right ingredients, the voice, the charm, the performance, it can go well for your career, says SuRie. Anything is possible at Eurovision, and what's to say that we haven't got the ingredients right this year, if not for a win, at least for a position on the leaderboard that we can be proud of. Let's not forget, this isn't her first time on the Eurovision stage. Surely her previous performances might give her the upper hand. I worked as a backing vocalist and it really opened my eyes to the whole experience, to all the coming together of different cultures and traditions that I didn't know much about, says SuRie. Even if you don't like the songs, you can respect and celebrate the diversity that is being represented. I was clueless about that before 2015. You also have to take a moment to let it all sink in. You can't let the whirlwind whiz by. You have to try to absorb it. You don't just want to see it on Instagram afterwards. SuRie finished in 4th place for Belgium, so can she top that this year? I will do my very best. There are so many elements out of my control. All I can do is give it my best shot and hope that's enough, she says. There is one contestant all the other entries have their eye on as the one to beat, and that's Israel's Netta Barzilai. Israel has been getting a lot of love and Netta is such a character. Her track is fantastic and really gets the arena pumping. But I have to say, so does Storm. People have been responding really well to it in the arena. It's just the outside world that is still hating on the UK a bit. But we do have a few tricks up our sleeve, including a Eurovision first. The stage design features a really beautiful light installation made up of a puzzle of chevrons, which will be illuminated using high-end technology that has never been used on a Eurovision stage before. Artistically, I didn't want too much fuss or noise around me, as I need to get the connection right with the audience in the arena and down the camera lens to the millions of people watching at home. But the set definitely complements the song, no matter where she is placed on that infamous Eurovision board. SuRie has lots of creative plans for the year ahead, including the release of a new single. It's a nice summery hit, so hopefully people will like it. I'm also very excited about going on tour in the UK throughout May, June and July. I'll be stripping back my sound and act to a more serious style, and if she does need a bit of advice, she can turn to her Grammy Award-winning pal Sam Smith, who is from the same area as her. SuRie has documented their friendship on Instagram with pictures showing them at festivals and enjoying drinks with other celebrity friends, including Radio 1 DJ Nick Grimshaw. But there is still one more thing she would like to achieve with her friend by her side. I would love to perform with Sam Smith. That really would be a career highlight for me.